Standing by with me is a distinguished senator of the Nigerian Senate representing Rivers Southeast Senatorial District and a governorship aspirant in Rivers State on the platform of the ruling All Progressives Congress, Senator Magnus. You're very welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much, and I'm glad to be here.
Well, you've seen it, major coalition coming together, the opposition People's Democratic Party and nearly 40 other political parties coming together. Is this the threat or the end, if you will, of your ruling position?
No, actually what is happening now is a very poor imitation of what we did to the PDP during the last elections. It's just people trying to just imitate what has happened before without knowing that circumstances and the environment has changed dramatically. And what worked at that time is not necessarily what will work now. First of all, in 2015, we cracked the ruling PDP by pulling out about 6 governors, which meant that you had 6 states that were with the party that were now moving out en masse, to the opposition. In this new movement that you're seeing here, I didn't see any 7 governors seated in that hall. When we left, we walked out of a convention with governors, with senators, and we shook the party from its very foundation. Nothing like that has happened here. You have 40 political parties. Some of these parties don't even have a councillor. Some don't even have offices. So what is the impact of that? So what we realize, what I would say is that clearly in the All Progressives Congress, mistakes have been made within the party. And there are people who are dissatisfied, who feel left out of things in the way the party was run or administered at that time. But the emergence of Comrade Adams Oshomole has given people hope that some of these issues can and will be addressed. And so a lot of the people who are threatening to leave, I don't think they will leave at the end of the day.
No, but in fairness, Senator, you mentioned that no sitting governor was in that hall, but we know that there are a number of governors within the ruling All Progressives Congress who are not hiding their association with, for example, the APC that has joined this coalition. The Sokoto State Governor, Aminu Waziri Tambuwal. You have rumors of Governor Samuel Ortom of Benue. You have the Governor of Kwara State, Abdul Fattah Ahmed, and some others. Apparently that there are even some dark horses involved as well.
No,
so what are your thoughts on that?
There are no dark horses involved. I know all these people and I know them personally. They're my friends. Tambuwal is like a brother to me. And I know that he has issues and he has his own view of things. But when you look at Sokoto today, Tambuwal and Wamako are a team. If you split the team, no one has that kind of potency without the other. So if Tambuwal is leaving, is Wamako leaving? You have to check that out. It's not like the other time when Wamako and Tambuwal all moved together. So these are issues in the different states. Yes, in Kwara, if Saraki and the governor moves, they're a team. So if they move together, you could have challenges in Kwara. But when you go to the other states you're talking about, Governor Tom has said clearly that he's not leaving the APC. So except he has said something different, which I haven't heard, his public comment has been clear. He attended the last meeting and he has announced it severally that he's not leaving the party.
There's a lot of intrigue within the National Assembly, of which, of course, you are a member. That was not there in 2014. Recall in 2014, the Senate President, maybe the Speaker of the House of Reps at that time, Speaker Tambuwal, of course, moved, but the Senate President, David Mark, was firmly on ground with the ruling PDP even after the defections. It's a bit different this time around. You have Senate President Bukola Saraki in conjunction with the Speaker of the House, Yakubu Dogara. We're hearing that 30 members of the Nigerian Senate are going to move over. Are you concerned at all about any prospect of a new majority forming under this coalition within the National Assembly?
Well, one thing that we must all realize is that politics is dynamic, and politician can write off any other person, because the whole idea of a democracy is that you get as many people as you can. So even if you have a country of 40 million voters and 30 million of them are members of your party, it is still good for the party to go after the 10 million that are not members to bring them in. That's the name of the game. So no serious politician can write off the influence of any human being who is a voter. So I'm not saying that there is no need for concern on the part of the APC. I'm not saying that the threat that is being bandied around will not make the elections more expensive and more difficult. But I am saying clearly that anybody who understands the politics of Nigeria knows that there is absolutely no real threat to the re-emergence of President Muhammadu Buhari in the 2019 elections. And I will give you the reasons why that is my own permutation.
No, please, go ahead.
First of all, in 2015, Goodluck Jonathan had served for 6 years and was trying to serve for another 4 years to make it a total of 10 years. And this was against the interest of the North, who at that time gave him the support to come on board. And they felt that by the nature of our political rotation, it was now their own turn to take over. And he was going to continue and make it 10 years, which is even a longer period than the time allowed in the Constitution for even somebody who was constitutionally elected in the first place. So that was there. So there was no way President Goodluck was going to convince the North to back him for a second time against their own clear interest and against his own promise which he has made to them. So that factor was on the ground. You're coming against President Buhari, who has a traditional followership in the North, who has served only one term, and you want to pull him out of office at a time when it is clear that he represents the aspirations of the majority of Nigerians to put this country on a new footing. So where are you going to get the votes from to pull that off? The whole gang up that you're talking about, all the people that people were calculating that will be part of those that will join in the movement, they're not moving anywhere. I have spoken to a lot of these people personally, and they're not going. So if you go to Gombe State, where are you going to get the votes to go and fight Buhari? If you go to Kano, yes, Kwankwaso is popular in Kano, but if he is not the candidate, are Kano people going to leave Buhari, who is from Katsina next door, and who are they going to go and vote for? So this whole permutation is just, there is a lot of smoke, but there is no real fire.
No, but when you look at the electoral mathematics of the 2015 general election, particularly the presidential election, and you see that there's only a gap of 2 million between the current president and the former president, and then you consider the heavy support that President Buhari enjoyed from the North Central, for example, in the Middle Belt, for example, and you see what has happened in the Middle Belt over the last 1 year, for example, and the kind of disenchantment that that has created. Can you really say that there's no cause for concern if the Senate president takes Kwara State, if the Middle Belt turns because of some of these clashes that have occurred?
Well, like I said before, the Senate president, as far as I know, as at this morning, is still a member of the All Progressives Congress. I said here that if Senate President Bukola Saraki and the governor of Kwara decide to move, that would affect what will happen in Kwara. I said that. But the elections goes beyond that. Yes, there are, nobody is writing off what is going on. Like I said, it will make the elections more expensive, it will make it more difficult, but there is no real threat to the fact that President Buhari will emerge as president of Nigeria in 2019. First of all, this whole coalition you're talking about is just a piece of paper. The whole agreement is based on nothing. Nobody has control of what they're saying. Okay, they're going to agree to present a common candidate. How do you agree to present a common candidate for governor in 36 states? Which party is going to give up their own right to try to go for, you know, what they can get in that system? And how do you gauge the strength of the parties, you know, to decide who should be given preference in one state over another? Well, there is a lot of work that should go into a serious coalition. Nothing like that has been done here. So this is clearly nothing but grandstanding.